Whenever surveys listing the most livable cities in the world are published, the Canadian city of Vancouver is usually right there at the top of the rankings. There's evidence that people have lived in the Vancouver area for over 10,000 years. With a plentiful supply of food in its forests and rivers, it was the perfect place for a settlement. Europeans started arriving in the area in the mid-18th century. Today, the Metro Vancouver area is home to over 2.3 million people and has over 8.5 million visitors a year. So, what do its residents and visitors think makes the city such a special place?
I think Vancouver have everything, like the city with the skyscrapers and stuff like that, and then the nature and hills and the sea. It's like everything in one.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so accessible. You don't need to own a car to get out to nature. I've been on a few tours where it's a city bus, and a short while later you're out in nature and you're out taking a hike deep into the woods. So that's what I really like about Vancouver.
It seems like when you go around the city and you travel around it is very much a green city. Like there's a lot of park space, there's a lot of recycling places where you can, when you're walking down the street, you can recycle your stuff as opposed to just throwing tin cans and plastic into the garbage, which most other cities do.
Well, certainly there's a kind of a friendliness to this city where people seem open to helping each other out and talking to strangers and things. And Vancouver just has an abundance of things to do kind of outside of your work life. There's so many parks and mountains and different outdoor activities and all sorts of stuff to do. So,
Vancouver's natural beauty is impossible to ignore. From snow-capped mountain peaks to lush forests and beautiful bays and beaches, the scenery is stunning. And the city offers a huge variety of activities on its doorstep all year round. You can watch Canada's national sport of ice hockey in one of the city's stadiums. Vancouverites are passionate about their home team, the Canucks. The team have yet to win the Stanley Cup, the ultimate prize in ice hockey, but their dedicated fans will never give up hope. You can do sailing or kayaking on the rivers and creeks around the city. Or test your nerve at the 140-metre-long Capilano suspension bridge that crosses 70 metres above the Capilano River in North Vancouver. Or you can just spend your days exploring Stanley Park, a short walk from the city centre. Stanley Park is one of the biggest and most dramatic urban parks in the world. The 120-year-old green space boasts a host of attractions. And the park is also famous for its First Nation art. And no visit is complete without a photo of the remarkable totem pole display at Brockton Point. In winter, residents and visitors to the city can make the short trip to easily accessible ski resorts like Grouse Mountain, which boasts some of the best downhill and cross-country skiing and snowboarding in North America. Vancouver is a diverse and cosmopolitan city. Around half of its residents are immigrants to Canada, with 25% considering Chinese as their native tongue. And with this diversity comes many benefits, not least the amazing variety of delicious cuisine on offer in the city. Vancouver is not complacent about the challenges that come with being one of the world's most desirable destinations, and Vancouver has an action plan to become the greenest city in the world by 2020. The Greenest City Plan was put together after consultations online, through social media, and face-to-face with more than 35,000 residents of the city. The plan called on all the residents of the city to rise to the challenge of transforming our community to create a better life for future generations. It sets out 10 achievable goals for the next decade. Notable goals include plans to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 33%, to help residents make the majority of trips by foot, bicycle and public transport, and to plant 150,000 new trees and ensure that no resident lives more than 5 minutes away from a green space. Gwendol Castellan works for the City of Vancouver, helping to implement the plan. He explains its benefits.
The Greenest City Action Plan is a plan that addresses many different goals related to sustainability to try and show leadership, to differentiate the city as a leader and attract top talent to the city. So people will see that Vancouver is one that is really trying to be a city that has a lower footprint and will also, by being more sustainable, it also means that the city has fewer costs. It's less expensive to run a city that uses less energy, that has a lower impact. So it's a more efficient city as well.
But the economy of Vancouver is also dependent on tourism, and tourists don't always make the most environmentally friendly of guests. Gwendol believes the city's plans could have a far-reaching effect on its visitors.
I think when it comes to sustainability and tourism, one area where I really see the opportunity for global change is the idea that once you've experienced something that's different, that really shows better practice or more conscientious stewardship of the environment, and you go back to somewhere else and it's not, that action is not being taken, you notice it more. And that's one of the values of travel, is that you learn something and you bring a little bit of that back with you. We don't want to be leaders forever. We would like that to become the new normal as we move towards those goals by 2020.
Vancouver will need the support of all its residents and its visitors to achieve its Greenest City plan, and it won't be easy. But just one look at the stunning city makes you believe that preserving this place for future generations will be worth all the work.